Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to teach you the basics of Shopify's SEO for beginners. Okay guys, so if you have a Shopify store, or maybe if you're planning to open a Shopify store in short term, then you will definitely need to understand the basics of Shopify's SEO. Okay, so by the end of the video, that's exactly what you're going to learn, guys. So I'm going to take you from a Shopify SEO novice to a somebody who understands Shopify SEO very well, guys. Okay, so if that sounds something that you want to tackle today, guys, then let's go ahead and dive into it right away. And guys, let's start with the basics. So if you don't know what SEO is basically a search engine optimization, meaning that you are optimizing your website or content for Google or other search engines, maybe like something like Bing or other search engines out there, okay? Even for AIs like ChatGPT or Perplexity, okay, these days, so agentic browsers. But again, we're going to be focusing really on the core ones like Google today as an example, okay? So let me show you how that works before we do anything, okay? So let's say I want to find a man's jeans, okay? So I'm going to type something like man's jeans, okay? So the websites that gonna pop up as the first options, those are the ones that have the best SEO for jeans. And obviously we have Levi's, because Levi's is essentially the brand for the jeans. There's nobody else that makes better jeans than Levi's. But just to show you the power of SEO, okay, I didn't type Levi's or anything like that. I just typed in men's jeans, and Levi's is coming up as first for a reason, because it's a huge brand and their SEO is on a absolute A+ game, okay? And that's essentially what I'm gonna be teaching you today, the basics, okay? So you can take all of this home and really apply on your Shopify store, so you can start ranking your Shopify store business on the first Google pages. Okay, just really a side note, it's not something that happens overnight. SEO is really a long-term game. It's going to take at least 3 to 4 or even 5 months before you start seeing the first results. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. If you guys want to ask ChatGPT or any other AI tool, you're going to get confirmation that this is exactly the case. And this is 100% true, guys, okay? But again, this is important that you learn the basics and foundations yourself, and then you can use AIs to really grow and expand on that knowledge, okay? So as long as you know the basics and foundations, you will be in a good place. All right, guys, so let's start with the homepage, okay? Let me go back to my Shopify, guys. So let's start with the actual homepage, guys, okay, and how we're gonna do that. So right now we are here on the Shopify admin, okay, and for us to start working on the homepage SEO, we need to go here under the online store, and we're gonna go under the preference, okay, and here we're gonna have this social sharing image and SEO section, okay, and this is where we're gonna be optimizing our SEO for the homepage, okay, because right now, for example, let me give you a quick demo, guys. Because if I do a preview right now, guys, what's gonna happen, you're gonna see it says something like my store and basically my name, okay? And if I go to meta title, I think it's called meta title preview if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, meta tags IO. Okay, so that's gonna give you a preview for your meta titles, which is basically the title and description that comes up on Google when somebody searches for a brand. For example, this, okay? So this is meta title and this is meta description right here, guys. And these are basically rich snippets from the schema. I'm gonna explain just a bit what that as well is. So if I preview that, it might, okay, it actually works. So you guys can see my meta title is Arthur-Dev, and I don't have any meta description, okay? And once we work on our meta description, meta title, you guys are gonna see that's actually gonna pop up in here, okay? Which is gonna be pretty cool to see that. So let's start with that. So let me go back to Shopify. I'm gonna go to preferences. And so the first thing I wanna do, I'm gonna change the homepage title, okay? I already have something prepared, just so we save some time. So since my store is focusing on selling a imaginary yoga brand, okay? So we're selling yoga mats. So we're gonna be focusing on that as our main keywords, okay? So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna bring this right here to my homepage title, and I'm gonna copy paste that, okay? I'm gonna save it just for now. So let me explain you what I'm doing here. So here I'm positioning my brand as the keyword number 1, okay? And then I'm positioning the main keyword for the product I'm offering, okay? So Zenflow is my brand, then it's yoga, it's basically the niche, And then we're saying premium non-slip yoga mats. Okay, so this is really important because in the meta title, you must include the product that you are selling or offering, okay? Because that's exactly how Google understands like what are you selling, okay? It's one of the main SEO components for your homepage, okay? So you're basically telling, hey, my brand is Zenflow, I'm in yoga niche, and I'm selling yoga mats. And you can add some, premium, I would say, prefix keywords, okay? Something like premium or high quality. So that's going to basically differentiate you from competitors, okay? So maybe there's a lot of yoga mats, but yours are premium and non-slip, okay? So these are essentially your keywords, okay? So branding, and then keyword for the niche, and then keyword for the product that you're actually selling, okay? So that's essentially the structure, guys, okay? And if you guys want, I can drop this basically Google Doc that I prepared for myself as a reference. If you guys want, let me know down in the comments, and I can drop this Google Doc so you can use it as your reference. Obviously, you should change for your brand because right now it's yoga. So if you're selling yoga, that's good. But if you're selling something else like pet accessories, you probably want to change these ones, okay? All right, guys. So that's for that. And now I'm gonna bring up the meta description, okay? And what I'm gonna do for meta description is I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna bring it in here, guys, okay? Let me just delete this one. And I just need to delete this one and just copy paste a little bit too much in the column. Okay, cool. So let's save that. So what's happening here? So again, we are using a lot of keywords that are brand related and also product keyword related, okay? So again, branding, Zenflow Yoga, that's my brand name. And then again, we are repeating the same thing, premium non-slip yoga mats. We are reinforcing the messaging, okay? And this is really, I wouldn't say that this part exactly, improves your SEO directly, but this is something that customers see and decide, okay, do I want to click on this homepage or I want to click on that homepage, okay? So it's a complementary SEO component, but it's not a direct driver for SEO, okay? Really important to understand. This is yes, this is no. This will not impact your SEO directly, but it will give the decisive point for the visitor to click on your URL or not to click on it, okay? So, for example, here, if I go to and I search for Levi's jeans, okay, here is their main homepage, okay, and you guys can see here is their meta description, okay? The official Levi's Canada website has the best collection of Levi's jeans, okay? Obviously, their meta description is not like descriptive or like well copywritten for a reason. It's Levi's, right? So they're really focusing on a technical SEO keywords, I would say, in a sense, right? So they don't need to really tell the story. People know exactly what Levi's is, right? They're just saying we are best, jeans brand in Canada, which is true. So they don't really need to explain much. People already know what is Levi's. They go search for Levi's, they see Levi's website, and they're gonna click on it, okay? But in your case, you're a small brand. This is important. This part is important. Here you need to explain a little bit about your brand, and also you need to, I would say, do a bit better copywriting to convince people that, hey, you should maybe check out the website. Maybe our product could solve your pain point, okay? So that's kind of what the idea there. All right, guys, so let's go back to Shopify here. And this image right here, basically, here you should add I wouldn't say you want to add your branding, but you want to add a sort of, I would say, maybe professional image or maybe lifestyle image, okay, representing your brand, okay? Because this is going to be basically shown here when you're going to be sharing it on like social media, for example, if you're going to share the link on like a Facebook or, other social medias, sometimes you're going to see that you have this like image preview of the website, and that's exactly what it is, okay? So it's essentially metadata image. So it's just really a better user experience if you're sharing on social media. So people instantly see it, for example, on Facebook, or if you're sharing on X or whatever, they're gonna see a visual preview of your website through this image, okay? So it's really just a better user experience in a sense. Again, not directly impacting your SEO, but it's a better user experience and more chances that people will click on that link. All right, guys. So again, it should be something more lifestyle. Again, in my case, I don't have any lifestyle images, but essentially what you would do, actually, let's go guys, do it quickly in Canva. So I'm gonna go to Canva, I'm gonna do custom size, and now we're gonna use the recommended size, which is basically 1200 by 628. Okay, let's do that. 1200 by 628. Okay, and now let's create the design. All right, and honestly, I'm just gonna go with something generic just to show you guys an example. I'm gonna click on yoga. Let's do something like this is kind of cool. Let's do this. I'll just delete these ones and these ones. I don't need this one. I don't need this either. I actually don't need her either here. And I don't want to have the three dots right here. I can delete that. Let's position that centrally. And I'll just put my brand name, which is basically ZenFlow with a different font. Not the same font like my website has, but that's okay. Just really for as an example. So let's just stretch it a little bit like this, make it centered. Okay, guys, cool. So now we have it, all right? So now let me just quickly download. Let's do PNG because it's like a better quality. So when you work with websites, always make sure that you have a PNG for your assets because it's just better quality images in terms of compression, right? So that isn't compressed as aggressively, so the image quality is better. Okay, but if you want to save a bit of size and decrease the quality for the size, you can do that. But again, it won't be really that big of an image. So let me just download that. And let's go back to Shopify. So now we can add that image in here. Okay. And there you go, guys. Now we have our SEO image updated for homepage. So let's save that. And I'm not sure if meta title already updated that, but let me see that, guys. Let me just copy my branding and let's refresh that. Let's see if it works. I don't think it worked yet. Okay. It might take a bit of time. Okay, because Shopify needs to push that into their servers and then render it out. So it might not be instant change. Okay, but you guys can see here it changed. If you look at the tab, you guys can see this is the meta title that we just added. So it already works in the browser tab, which is good. But this might be taking a bit of time because again, yeah, this is probably going to take a couple of maybe a few hours for it to actually refresh. Or actually, no, I see that it's protected by the password. So that could be the problem, okay? So let's remove the password. We don't need that. Oh, I see. Okay, my store is in development. Okay, that's why. So in your case, guys, if your store is going to be normal Shopify store, you're not going to face this problem because I'm in a basically Shopify development store, meaning I develop Shopify stores and do a bunch of different stuff for Shopify teams. So my store is by default protected with password, okay? In your case, you can remove it and then you will be able to preview your Shopify theme and all these changes will be reflecting in here, okay? So you're gonna see the title, you're gonna see the description, and you're gonna see the image that we just added, okay? But my point is, here it is, it's already working, it just we can't see it because I can't preview it through the meta title app that we just tried to use, okay? So cool, guys, this is good to go. Let's just disregard the changes. So we have the homepage title, meta description, and the image. That's cool. So now let's move on to a product level SEO, guys. So let me go to products. Here I already have a Shopify product, so make sure you have Shopify product as well so you can follow along. So here we have a couple of things to discuss. So the title, this is not, I don't want to say it's not related to SEO, but it's not directly related to a search engine listing. Okay, so this is what's going to be happening on the Google when somebody searches for the product. Okay, so this is how it's going to come up on the Google's search listing when somebody searches for it. But this one is important for your internal SEO. Okay, it's your on-page SEO, what we call. So this is on-page SEO. So it's kind of a split into different pillars. So on-page SEO is basically SEO that's happening on your Shopify. That's what it's called, on-page. Okay, and then there's another SEO that is called off-page. So off-page is everything that's happening outside your Shopify store. Okay, so that's essentially how it's being rendered out on the Google search engine, which is basically the metas, then backlinks, right? The social media sharings, right? So there's a lot of aspects to a off-page. We're not going to discuss that today. Today, we're really focusing on a on-page SEO, okay? And a bit of technical SEO. That's a different beast there, okay? So technical SEO is essentially how your Shopify code is structured in the backend and how fast your Shopify loads, how fast your Shopify team loads, how fast how fast the images load, depending like if they're heavy or they're like not heavy, the compression rates and stuff like that, guys. Okay, so that's technical, everything that has to do with the technical aspect. That is technical SEO. Okay, guys. All right, awesome. So this is it is kind of directly related to SEO because this is your title and this is going to be rendered out on Shopify as a H1 or heading 1. Okay, so if I go here and actually let me just preview the page directly. So if I click on preview, all right, if I click on inspect, I can do it directly because of page protector enabled for Shopify team, which is pretty cool feature, so people don't steal your content unless they know about developer tools. That's a different story. So if I go here and I inspect this element here, you guys can see on the overlay it says h1.product-title. Okay, so that's your h1 heading, which is like the most important heading on the page, product page, whatever, the page collection page. Okay, because this tells Google exactly what is being sold or offered on that page. Okay, so in this case, Google will say, okay, this is H1, this is the most important heading, so what is the Shopify store offering? Okay, and from there it's going to basically see, okay, premium non-step yoga. Okay, it's going to just catch the main keywords. Okay, yoga, so it's a yoga niche, foldable, lightweight, and washable. Those kind of extra keywords for the quality, right? So, but the main keyword is yoga mat. So, okay, now it knows, okay, the Shopify store is selling yoga mats, which are lightweight and washable. So if somebody is looking for that and they're saying something like, okay, I'm looking for like, maybe like washable yoga mat, or maybe like yoga mat that isn't heavy or easy to carry, then it's likely that Google will offer your product long term. Obviously, that's not gonna happen if you launch your store tomorrow. This is like months and possibly a year and a half, or even 2 years until you can start ranking for these keywords, because again, yoga is very competitive. That's a different story, guys. But again, today we're just talking about how you can set up your Shopify SEO for success. Okay, if you guys are interested about like keyword rankings and finding the right keywords, analyzing your competition for SEO and how to rank for higher like amongst competition in terms of SEO, let me know in the comments, guys, and I'll create a separate video on that as well, right? Okay, so that's our H1 title, which is really important because, like I said, that tells Google exactly what we're selling and offering. So that's right here. So really important when you structure these ones, make sure that it actually includes the product keyword and also a bit of, I would say, value proposition of that product. So foldable, lightweight, and washable. Don't make it too long because what's going to happen if it's too long, guys, it's going to cut off on the, it's going to cut off like this, guys. You can see these 3 dots, so it truncates. So if your title is longer, I believe it was 120 or 130 characters, it's going to cut off, which doesn't really create a good user experience because now I don't really know what the product is exactly. Okay, so really important, guys. 120, 130 characters, that's kind of the sweet spot. All right, guys, so for the description, we're not going to dive into the description too much, but it is important long term for your SEO. Okay, because this is content SEO, so the quality of this part matters. Okay, so if it's a low quality content description, or you're not really including keywords or long tail keywords, right? So if the content doesn't answer what the customer is looking to solve their problem or the product, for example, I'm going to Google and I'm searching like the best yoga mats or like eco-friendly yoga mats. So the websites that answer that question the best in terms of content will rank the highest, okay? So content in SEO is still the king. So it's really important to also have a good quality content down the road. Okay, so that's for the content. Then we have something called here category. Category is really important, right? So the category is important because this basically categorizes your product on Google, okay? So whatever you put here, that's gonna send Google a additional signal. It's gonna tell Google exactly what the product is. Okay, so the category is actually linked directly to a Google's categorization, or I forget, there was a specific word for it, but there is I believe that was called taxonomy. So this is linked directly to Google's taxonomy, or basically what kind of product this is, okay? So Shopify is actually really smart. I didn't add this. So Shopify uses AI image recognition. So it's gonna recognize that, okay, this is probably yoga mat, and it's gonna add it for you. But if it doesn't pop up, make sure that select the closest product category that is matching your product or whatever you're selling on your Shopify store, okay? So just go through the list and find really the best match, okay? If I go all the way back, you guys can see I have animal and pet supplies and bunch of other stuff, guys. So make sure that you select the correct category, because that will send the Google and Google it's called Google crawlers, Google bots, whatever, and Google all the crawlers from Google is going to tell them exactly what your Shopify store is selling. All right, guys. Okay, so next up, let's discuss a bit about the images. So images also, it's something part of SEO, but I wouldn't say it's like, one of the highest ranking key components for SEO, okay? But it's really important, it's a complementary component for SEO, okay? For a couple of things here, guys, okay? So alt text, this is essentially what's called alternative text. And what it does here, you need to describe what this image is, okay? Because if I go, for example, here, and if I search yoga mat again, all right, so I have all these images right here, or actually, well, these are paid ads, so not really the best example. If I go to images here, let's find something organic. So let me scroll down. So for example, this one, okay? So this image behind has a alternative text, which describes what it is, okay? So if I click here and I click on inspect, I should have a alt text. Yeah, guys, there it is, guys. You guys can see here, I'm highlighting. So alt equals Jasmine Fitness Yoga Mat, 6 millimeters pink, and whatever. Basically the full description of the product, okay? Because this tells the Google's crawlers or bots, okay? Because Google is using basically algorithms and AIs, and basically all of this matching that you are searching for is done by Google's, backend system, okay? And obviously it's not a person sitting behind there. It's just bunch of code and bunch of AIs and bunch of bots that are suggesting you these results, okay? And the way they understand what you're looking for is by combining all this data together. And one of this data is actually the alternative text, because that tells the robots, okay, let's call them robots, when the robot looks at the image, it tells them, okay, so this is Jasmine Fitness Yoga Mat, 6 millimeters. Okay, so that's kind of the close match to what the user is searching for. So let me show it as one of the first options, okay? So alternative text should be fairly descriptive, I would say. So here you're gonna say something like, since my brand, it's called Zenflow, I'm gonna say Zenflow, pink, yoga. Actually, I'm gonna do Zenflow pink, lightweight, and maybe we can do something like, and eco-friendly yoga mat, and we can also do the dimensions. I'm just gonna put something random for now. Let's do the same thing, 6 millimeters, and that's it, guys, okay? And basically you will add as much detail as possible, because this is not something that user is gonna see. This is purely for AIs and computers, okay, guys? So the more data they have, the better chance you have of showing that image to the user. Again, guys, it's a complementary part of the entire SEO image, okay, guys? Not image itself, but as an SEO, the whole SEO image, So the titles, meta titles, images, alternative text, guys. So all of that comes together at the end of the day, okay? So that's for alternative text. Really important, guys. So again, be as descriptive as possible, because that is important for also screen readers, okay? Okay, guys, those screen readers, that's another thing. There's a lot of people with disabilities and impairments. So then maybe somebody who doesn't see really good, the screen readers will use the alternative text to read out through the computer speakers or phone speakers what they see on the screen to the user who is maybe visually impaired. So it's gonna say basically Zenflow yoga mat, pink, 6 millimeters. So if you are visually impaired, at least you're gonna hear, okay, so this is something that I'm looking for, okay? So there's also a accessibility and what we call ADA compliance. It's also a part of the SEO, but indirectly, okay? Because Google can penalize, or basically they can say, hey, this website is not compatible for people with disabilities, so they might penalize your SEO rankings because of that. And also you can run into some legal issues in certain states because there are laws for accessibility, right? So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so now let's move on to the last component of the product page here. So search engine listing, that's kind of the most important part because that's exactly how it's going to be showing up on Google, right? When you search for this specific product or whatever you guys are searching for. So here I already prepared something. So for the title, I have this one right here, which is I think exactly the same thing. Yeah, the same thing. So what I'm doing here, again, I'm describing my brand, so kind of a similar structure. Branding, then the product keyword, non-slip yoga mat, and then again a bit of value props, right? So it's washable, it's foldable, and it's lightweight, and it's pink. Okay, and if I want to, I can as well put like 6 millimeters or the dimensions. But again, guys, remember that here's the limit. Okay, because what's gonna happen? If you exceed 70 characters, it's gonna cut off with 3 dots, okay? This is something that we don't want because that just leaves the person who is searching for the product on Google, it's gonna leave them confused because they're not gonna understand, know properly what exactly this product is, okay? So important, make sure that it doesn't exceed 70 characters, and here Shopify does the counting for you, okay guys? So something between 60, don't go to 70 because it still can cut off, so just to be safe, do something like 67, 65, or even 60, okay? All right, guys, so now let's move on to the meta description, right? So this is the part where the person will decide if they want to click on this product or no, guys, okay? And let me explain you how this goes. Okay, so here's my meta description, okay? So here it's a bit different because here we're including CTAs like shop, okay? So that's quite important because we are inviting the visitor or consumer to shop for our product, okay? So you can do shop now, that's kind of the most common one. You can also use something like learn more, but again, it will kind of change your funnel, right? So shop now, it's more aggressive. It's like clear, okay, shop now, like I'm looking to buy something. So usually it's gonna be shop now or get now or, you know, get yours, those type of CTAs. So again, we are starting with CTA, basically action-driven CTA, shop, and then our branding. So shop, design, full non-slip yoga mat. Again, guys, same structure, branding, product keyword, and then we're adding a bit of value props, describing the product. So soft touch, foldable, and easy to clean, okay? Because this is for the user. So again, guys, let me just remind you a little bit. So yoga mat, okay? And let me find something. Okay, Lole, which is basically one of the biggest yoga sort of like, or athletic like accessory brand. Okay, let's see how they are doing that. So here they use a bit of copywriting. Okay, so they use a more of a, I would say, they're not trying to sell the product. They're trying to sell an emotion to a user. Okay, because here they're saying take your yoga practice or exercise to the next level with our collection of yoga mats. Okay, well it's kind of a blend. I wouldn't say it's a really amazing copywriting because it's still action driven. You guys can see here. Just instead of shop now or get now, they're saying take your yoga practice, which is essentially a softer CTA. Okay, so there's different approach you can do for CTA. This works too. You can do take yours, take your yoga practice, or get the best yoga practice with our yoga mat. Okay, a lot of options for the CTAs. Okay, but again, idea is kind of the same like we're trying to do here, guys. So again, take your yoga practice. With yoga mats, you guys can see the Google even highlights the main keywords. So it highlights yoga mats, resistant bands, and just it essentially highlights all the products that they're selling, okay? And that's essentially what we're doing because this is the only chance we have to convince the visitor to actually click on our product URL and visit our product page, okay? So you need to be really careful, and you know, it should be a strategic business decision in a sense what kind of keywords and how you are positioning your product, because that's going to be something that people see on Google. So if it's not convincing, no one's going to click on it, okay guys? So again, CTA, branding, and again, branding is really not important, I wouldn't say, because we already have it here. So I could even say, we can remove the branding to save some space. So we can even do like this. So shop non-slip yoga mat, soft touch, foldable, and easy to clean. Perfect for yoga, Pilates, and workouts at home and studio. Okay, guys. So message is clear. So yoga mats that can work for yoga studios, for Pilates, or workouts, or at home or in a studio. Okay, guys. So that's pretty good. Let's save that. Honestly, guys, this is looking nice and clean. And again, guys, if you want me to chop this Google Doc from where I'm referencing my SEO content for today, guys, let me know. I'll drop it. I structured it based on my yoga brand here. You will just need to adjust the, for your product and for your niche, guys, and stuff like that, guys, okay? So that's for that. The only thing we have left here is collections. So a lot of people are neglecting collections, but essentially it's also important. So let me show you how you can do that. So it's gonna be a very similar structure, okay, because collections also show up on Google, and it's also important SEO key component. So if you don't have a collection, you're just literally losing out free SEO. So it's gonna be the same structure. You're gonna describe what kind of products you have and also the description. Then you can add an image. So if you share it on the social media, people are gonna see a preview of that collection, okay, guys? And here you can add the products. And let me show you guys quickly the structure for the collection pages. All right, so for meta title, I'm gonna bring again from my Google Doc here. So we save some time. So again, guys, you can see the same structure. My branding, yoga mats collection. Okay, here's different because it's a collection. So we need to tell the SEO and Google that this is the collection page. Okay, again, a bit of value, perhaps premium, non-slip, and foldable mats. Okay, because we have multiple mats in there. It's a collection. So now let's do a description. Okay. There are a couple of ways, okay? So I'm keeping it short and sweet, but again, you can use the collection to really, I would say, add more keywords, okay? Because you can rank for different keywords. It can be yoga mats, it can be maybe Pilates, or so the keywords that are kind of around the same niche, okay? So person who does yoga, possibly they do Pilates, and possibly, they do different sports in a sense, right? So you can add different keywords if you're planning to maybe sell products for Pilates or for different yoga accessories, maybe headbands, maybe socks, maybe yoga pants, right? So a lot of things you can put in here, guys. So that's kind of the important part here, okay? So collection page description is sort of a place where you can write a bit of a copyrighted story about the product and add some keywords that would blend nicely, okay? The one thing you want to make sure that you don't stuff keywords, because it's something that in SEO that we call keyword stuffing. If you just stuff a bunch of keywords that makes no sense to the reader, Google understands that, okay? It can read your website and it's gonna say, hey, this is just like a bunch of keywords stuffed in there for it to rank higher in Google. You're gonna get penalized by Google and you're gonna like tank your SEO all the way to the bottom, okay? Just be genuinely interested in solving people's problems for the products that you're offering. They should solve a problem, and simply use those keywords to highlight the pain points and how the product is solving the user's problem. Okay, that's the main key aspect, right? So you need to have a good product, you need to have good SEO, and all that comes together, and then you have those good and nice SEO results long term. I would say 3 to 6 months, guys. If you follow this structure and format, you will definitely succeed. Okay, guys, and that's it. Let me just save that, and don't forget to add your image here. Really important, guys. And yeah, that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions about Shopify or Shopify SEO, drop a comment below and I'm gonna help you out. And again, let me know if you want me to drop the Google Doc that I was using for my reference. I can do that, guys. But if not, I'm gonna wish you, as always, happy Shopify store building, and I'm gonna wish you success in your Shopify business. And I'm gonna see you next time, as always.